Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Please be seated. Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. I often start the sermon with a question. The question is coming. But I wanted to make sure that we had this in mind. Confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. So, my question is, are any among you suffering? Suffering. Are you feeling any suffering at this point in time? Okay, thank you. And those of you in the back here, are any of you suffering? Oh, okay, got extra. Okay, there we go. Okay. This has been a difficult week. It has been a challenge, and so I confess that to you. It's been a challenge for several reasons. One is because I feel like instead of having our country come together, it feels like the fabric, which is America, is being torn more apart. That we now have new reasons to choose sides. We have new reasons to be segregated rather than unified. And that makes me sad. And it's complicated. So we have this national dilemma of people choosing sides, isolating themselves. And then we have a situation where we in our own church are experiencing some interesting growing pains. The growing pains of what it's like to have 13 to 20 people in church on Sunday versus having 20 to 40 people in church on Sunday. And that's a different religious experience. What it's like to be able to have people who have a difficult time hearing in church. And the vestry taking that up and saying, okay, if people are having a hard time hearing, how can we help them hear? How do we have a place that has good acoustics and people who have hearing aids? And how do we help them have a good worship experience? How are we doing justice with our young people? We don't currently have young people education, Sunday school. Is it better for them to be with us in church and have a unified church experience, or is it better to have a Christian education program during church when they could receive education and understand more about the Bible, but then they're not with us in church? What does it mean to be able to have a resource like an ambulance sit outside and not go anywhere? We need to be able to take care of that. It doesn't do any good to have a house that's full of nice things that could be sold, or an ambulance here, or a basement that's empty when there are people that don't have a place to live or don't have enough food. And how do we address those issues? All of those things happened this week, and they happened here in our community. What happens when you call somebody on the phone and they don't call you back? I jokingly said it one time, I really wanted my parishioners to stay upright. That was my goal as the priest. I just want my people to stay upright. And we had one of our beloved parishioners fall this week and end up on the ground and having to go to the emergency room. I made him jinx us. I thought it was funny. It's not funny. So then other people go and check and make sure that they're okay. Because if somebody lives alone or somebody falls, it's scary. And we don't want anybody who isn't able to communicate with us not have the community take care of them. So I confess that this week has been a difficult week at best. But as always, the lectionary provides for us. And we look at James. And James says, if any of you are suffering, you should pray. That is an excellent suggestion. And those of you that are cheerful, you should be singing songs. Maybe you could cheer the other people that are suffering up. To help them. Of course, if you can't sing, that might not work too good. But, you know. So, if you're suffering, you should pray. If you're joyful, you should be singing. And then, are any of you sick? If you're sick, this is really good. It says here that you should call the elders of the church. That means you should call your vestry people. And you should have them come over and pray for you. And anoint you with oil. In the name of the Lord. And when you do that, in a prayer of faith, then you will save the sick. You will save the sick. It doesn't say that the sick will be healed, does it? It says you can save them. Maybe what we're going to be saving them from is the knowledge that they're not on this journey alone. Maybe we save them from knowing that you don't have to live in pain. That there is treatment available so that you don't have to have pain. So that you don't have to worry if your lungs aren't actually working as well as they could. That there are people and methods that are going to help you walk from this journey on into the next. So maybe we'll save them from worry, from fright, from fear, from anxiety, as they walk this journey's life, and if they walk into the next. And anyone who's committed a sin, if they confess, will be forgiven. So that we know that that door is open. But this is a community exercise. Yeah, do you see that? Everything that James is talking about is not about getting one group over here together to coalesce and feel strong, and another group over here to coalesce and feel strong. It's saying the whole community, led by the elders. This is how we save people. This is how we love people. This is how we show the light of Christ to others in the world. And the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. Then I thought this was interesting. I love it when the lectionary hits spot on in our world. Because I was wondering what it would have been like if the chaplain in the Senate would have stood up and said, "My brothers and sisters, if anyone among you wanders from the truth and is brought back by another, you should know that whoever brings back a sinner from wandering will save the sinner's soul from death and will overcome and will cover a multitude of sins." Bring back a sinner from wandering will save a sinner's soul from death and will cover a multitude of sins. We as a community, we look for the truth. And there's usually more than one truth in a situation. But that doesn't make one person's truth right and another person's truth wrong. It seems to me now more than ever that our ability to be a community and be united is really important. Because that shows the light of Christ in the world. And right now, people need to be saved. I never thought as an Episcopal priest I would be standing up there telling you that we need to help people to be saved. But that's what I'm telling you today. Because people are literally dying on the vine out in our culture. There are groups groups of people that have severe loss and anxiety and have told stories that they never thought they would tell other people. And they're raw because of it. And there are some people who embrace those individuals, and there are others who choose not to listen. But we in Mineral here, in this place, have a community of people who will listen. Who will listen to each other. We don't have to agree, but we do have to listen. And we vow together to be supportive of one another, to help each other. Because it's very clear that God said schism is the ultimate sin. And it's unification. It's being together in community. That's the most important. So, this week I ask for your prayers. I ask for your prayers for me. I ask for your prayers for our community. I ask your prayers for the family that's in the hotel that we're trying to figure out how to help, so that they can lead somewhat of a normal life as they work really hard themselves to move forward with the resources that they have right now. I ask you to pray for our country, because there are a number of people that are suffering for a number of different reasons. And according to James, those prayers, the prayers of the righteous, that I believe you all are, they work. They're powerful and they're effective. Therefore, confess your sins to one another. Listen to one another. Care for one another. Be open to one another, so that we all may be